বিসমিল্লাহিররহমানিররহিম। আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহ। আমরা এখন ইমিউনাইজেশন হিস্ট্রি মাইলস্টোনস সম্পর্কে একটা সংক্ষিপ্ত লেকচার নিব। এটা ভ্যাকসিনেশন হিস্ট্রি সম্পর্কে খুব ভালো লেকচার হবে। বিসমিল্লাহিররহমানিররহিম। রাব্বি জিদনি ইলমা রাব্বি ইশরাহ লি সাদরি ওয়া ইয়াসসির লি আমরি ওয়াহলুল উকদাতাম মিন লিসানি ইয়াফকাহু কওলি। Immunoprophylaxis and immunotherapy, introduction, history, and milestones. Our lesson plan and review questions. What is immunoprophylaxis and immunotherapy? Vaccination versus immunization, classification, history and milestones of immunotherapy. And we will cover up to this much. And in the next lecture, we will cover, inshallah, the effectiveness, safety, and limitations of vaccination, side effects and contraindications of vaccinations, how vaccination can protect unprotected persons, that is herd immunity, classification and different types of vaccines with advantages and disadvantages. We will also discuss in another lecture about biological response modifier with their use, immunosuppressant agent with their use and mechanism of use, action, short notes on cancer chemotherapy, about cytokine chemotherapy, molecular and cellular immunotherapy, DNA vaccine, anti-idiotypic vaccine, etc. So we start with history and milestones of vaccination. This is the cover page in which the magazine of World Health Organization in May 1980. You see the cover page is smallpox is dead. That means smallpox has been eradicated from the face of the world, the only disease ever eradicated. Let us go to the history of vaccination. You see, 1796, Edward Jenner discovered smallpox vaccine, but after 163 years, more than 150 years, WHO adopts goal to eradicate the smallpox. So more than 150 years required to use the smallpox vaccine. And in 1966, WHO decides to intensify the program, and within 14 years, 1980, WHO announced that smallpox has been eradicated from the world. And this is the last known person in the world to have a natural case of smallpox, a 23-year-old Ali Malin, Somalia. And you see, the journey of vaccination was not that smooth. There are many demonstrations against vaccination. Leicester anti-vaccine demonstration occurred in 1885. 80,000 people protested against the Vaccination Act. Now people are crazy for vaccination. And similarly, in Germany also there was huge gathering, and you will be amazed to see the comment of Mahatma Gandhi. He said, vaccination is a barbarous practice and one of the most fatal of all the delusions current in our time. Consensus objectors to vaccination should stand alone, if need be, against the whole world in defense of their conviction. Mahatma Gandhi. This was his remarks about vaccination. And this is the book, Horrors of Vaccination, exposed and illustrated. So the history begins with many hundred, even 1,000 years before. Chinese, they noticed children who recovered from smallpox did not contract the disease again. আমাদের দাদি নানিরাও এটা জানতেন, তারা smallpox না হলেও chicken pox, measles এইসব নিয়ে একই মন্তব্য করতেন। The infected children with the material from a smallpox scab to induce immunity. This process known as variolation. Variolation spread to England and America, but it was stopped because of risk of death. So 3,000 before the birth of Christ, evidence of sniffing powdered smallpox crushed in Egypt. 2000 BC, sniffing of smallpox crushed in China. 1500 BC, Turkish, they introduced variolation. And 1700 AD, introduction of variolation in England and later in the US. This is a picture. You see the Chinese, what they are doing with their children, and Edward Jenner also doing his experiment. This is Lady Mary Montagu, the wife of the British ambassador in Turkey. In March 1707, wrote following the variolation of her son to a friend in England. The smallpox so fatal, so general amongst us is entirely harmless here by the invention of ingrafting. I am patriot enough to bring this invention into fashion in England. And 1721 সালে উনি 7 জন মৃত্যু দণ্ডপ্রাপ্ত আসামিকে এই ভেরিয়েশন করলেন এবং তাদের সামান্য স্মল পক্সের মতো হলো, তারা সবাই রিকভার করলো এবং তারা স্মল পক্স রোগীর সঙ্গে শুয়েও আর স্মল পক্স তাদের হলো না এবং তারা মুক্তি পেলেন। এটা একটা রয়্যাল এক্সপেরিমেন্ট, পরে এটা তার রয়্যাল পরিবারের অন্য সদস্যদের করা হয়েছে। তার সেই 1717 সালের অনেকদিন পরে, প্রায় 70-80 বছর পরে, 1796 সালে Edward Jenner inoculated a boy with cowpox. After the boy recovers from the infection, Jenner inoculated him with a smallpox, but the boy remains healthy. So this is the start of vaccination. So Edward Jenner discovered the process of vaccination in 1796. Louis Pasteur, the father of modern microbiology, developed a vaccine against Pasteurella maltosida in 1879, and antibody, that is ADS, were developed in 1889. This is the Edward Jenner experiment. And Edward Jenner and the patients awaiting smallpox vaccination. So, Louis Pasteur, Salmon and Smith, they used kill vaccine. And this is the history, this is the experiment of attenuated vaccine by Louis Pasteur. There are গল্প আছে, উনি ফ্রেশ কালচার অফ কলেরা ব্যাকটেরিয়া নিয়ে এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করছিলেন। যখন চিকেনকে দেওয়া হতো, চিকেনগুলো মারা যেত। কোনো কারণে একবার এই ফ্রেশ কালচারটা ল্যাবরেটরি বেঞ্চিতে বেশ কিছুদিন ছিল, যা উনি ভুলে গিয়েছিলেন কিংবা কাউকে ভুলে গিয়েছিলেন, সে দেয়নি। উনি ফিরে এসে এই পুরনো কালচার যখন হেলদি চিকেনকে দেয়, তাদের কোনো ইনফেকশন হয় না, তারা কলেরা হয় না। তখন উনি সেটাকে এক্সপেরিমেন্ট আকারে করলেন। ফ্রেশ কালচার ওই হেলথ যে চিকেনগুলোকে পুরনো কালচার এজেড কালচার দেওয়া হয়েছিল ওদেরকে আবার ফ্রেশ কলেরা চিকেন দিলেন, দেখা গেল যে এদের এখনো কিছু হলো না। তখন উনি এই সিদ্ধান্তে পৌঁছলেন যে এই এজেড কালচার দেওয়ার ফলে ওরা অ্যাটেনিউটেড হয়ে গিয়েছিল, তারা তাদের শরীরে একটা ইমিউনিটি তৈরি করেছে। দ্যাট ওয়াজ দ্য হিস্ট্রি অফ অ্যাটেনিউয়েটেড ভ্যাকসিনেশন। Then started the modern era of vaccination. In 1885, rabies vaccine was discovered by Pasteur. In 1920, diphtheria and tetanus vaccine. 1934, pertussis vaccine. 1955, polio vaccine. 1937, yellow fever vaccine. And this is the experiment where rabies vaccine was given to Joseph Mischer. And he survived. First rabies case survived. Antitoxin and serum therapy, as we have told, ADS and ATS. Kitasato and Emil von Behring, they used ADS and ATS for treatment of diphtheria and tetanus respectively, and they won the Nobel Prize in 1901. In 1960, mumps, measles, and rubella virus vaccines developed. Sabin polio vaccine. 1985, Haemophilus. 1990, hepatitis and varicella. 2000, human papillomavirus. And possibly in this year, the vaccine against COVID-19 will be developed, hopefully. Yellow fever vaccine was developed in 1937 by Max Tiller, and he received Nobel Prize in 1951. Pre- and post-vaccine incidence of common preventable diseases, you see, after a vaccination program, most of the diseases declined remarkably. Now we do not see any diphtheria cases. Pertussis cases decreased, tetanus decreased, polio eradicated, mumps, measles, rubella. This is the further proof of effectiveness of vaccines. Number of reported cases declined remarkably. So immunization saved lives. Globally, immunization saved the lives of approximately 3 million, 30 lakh people each year. And vaccines are safe. They are easier, safer to administer than even before. And immunization can save money. Immunization is one of the most cost-effective health interventions. And investing in vaccines saves more money than it costs. Immunization can protect the unprotected. When immunization coverage is high, it can prevent viruses and bacteria from circulating. The more children in community that are fully immunized, the safer everyone. This is known as herd immunity. So a strong immunization system can protect our children. And diseases can reappear when the coverage of vaccination drops. Vaccines are always improving. Vaccine prices are lower than before. New vaccines protect against more diseases. New technologies make immunization cheaper and safer. And yet, 34 million children are not fully immunized. Most of them are in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. And 2.3 million still die each year from tetanus, pertussis, hepatitis B, and measles. So there is a new hope for children, that is Gavi and the Vaccine Fund. Gavi is the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization. They provide financial and technical assistance to countries that want help. New vaccines and technologies are affordable. Better vaccination programs can help other health interventions. So new vaccines are reaching more countries. Hepatitis B vaccine in our country also. Haemophilus influenza type B vaccine, Japanese encephalitis B vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, pneumococcus vaccine, meningococcal vaccine. So vaccine makes the world safe. Thank you very much. Thank you for patience hearing.